YouTube fans, Jose Fong's here with another great video. So we're gonna get back in the routine of making great videos so you guys enjoy at home and you guys will be able to make those great delicious recipes that we produce here. This video today is about making fresh corn tortillas, and this video is dedicated to my friend James White. He has always asked me how to make them. So today we're gonna show you guys the kitchen equipment that is needed to make the fresh corn tortillas. Also, I want to thank my daughter Helena for actually giving me an official Jose Fong's apron. So stay tuned and we're gonna go step by step, okay? Enjoy. So here we have a tortillera. A tortillera is basically a press. Okay, so it has two functions. One, we open it up here and we put the masa here, and then we're gonna press it down, okay? And that's gonna give us that perfect round shape of the tortilla that we're looking for. But right before we start doing any press, we do require 2 pieces of plastic. This basically is gonna help from sticking to each side of the tortillera. And basically what I did, I took a 1 gallon Ziploc bag and cut it to fit right what we need right on top of our tortillera, okay? And then we're also gonna be using the comal, which is a cast iron skillet, long oval shape, and this is basically just the surface that the tortillas actually fit on. You can buy this at any Mexican store. They usually carry both of them, okay? And the cost was literally $15 each. And remember, these are cast iron, so you take care of them, they'll last you forever. And for $15, you can't beat that anywhere else, okay? So 30 bucks here on both of them, and then we'll go from there. So here's the main ingredient that we're gonna be using. It's called maseca. It's one of the brands that for basically instant corn masa flour. You can also buy this at the ethnic aisle at your grocery stores or Mexican stores. You know, they're basically everywhere now, and it runs about $2.50, $3. You know, so very inexpensive. And we're gonna mix this with literally just basically water and a little bit of salt, okay? And I will put the measurements in the video, so you stay tuned, okay? 2 cups of flour, okay, plus 1, okay, plus 2. So then we're also gonna put a teaspoon of salt, okay. And then we're gonna put a cup of warm water, lukewarm, you know, room temperature. And this is where the fun begins. You're really gonna have to get your hands in there. So after mixing 1 cup of water to 2 cups of flour, we're gonna mix, okay? And you can see I've always asked my mom for a specific recipe, how many cups of this and that. She's never been able to give me one. So we're gonna do it just like her, but in our side, we're gonna be explaining how much water, how much flour we need, okay? So that was 1 cup of water. Plus 2 cups of water. And as you see, it's becoming a little more clumpy, okay? Now we don't want it very sticky or very loose, because then we are gonna have a hard time peeling it off of our plastic. And we don't want that. It just creates a mess everywhere, okay? And it creates a mess on your skillet, it creates a mess on your hands. So look at that, beautiful. So it was basically 1 cup of flour to 1 cup of water, okay? So we don't need to let this rest or anything. We can go basically straight to making tortillas. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna turn the skillet on, make sure it's nice and hot. And like with any other cast iron, we want to make sure that it's well seasoned, okay? So while you're making your tortillas, you want to make sure that this gets covered so your dough doesn't get any dry, okay? So what I'm gonna do, I'm basically gonna grab a clean towel, and then we're gonna place it there, okay? So in the meanwhile, we have our skillet going right there, getting nice and hot. And you can do this on a electrical stove or a fire gas stove. Either way, the skillet will work. So there's no problem on that. Okay, so at this point we have put our plastic underneath, the ball, and plastic on top, and then tortillas, and then we're gonna press it down. And you can see right at the edge of the press that you have the dough coming out, okay? So at that point, you wanna stop, and there we go. We have a corn tortilla raw, okay? So the next step on this process is basically getting it off the plastic and into our hot comal, okay? So as you see, plastic top comes off, okay? And then to get it off, you literally just pick it up, okay? Pick it up, and then what we're gonna do, we're gonna take it back to the comal area. So at this point, we can literally just get it off and slap it right on the comal, okay? The comal should be hot enough where the tortilla should be cooking, and it's usually gonna take about I want to say maybe 2 minutes to 4 minutes, okay? Now if it's too hot to flip with your own hands, don't be afraid to use a metal spatula, which I'll demonstrate here in a minute. I see my mom just pick it up with her bare hands and then flip it, and no problem. But also she has been doing that for about 50 years. Okay, so no shame there. Okay, so here we have a metal spatula. And you have to make sure that it's cooked before we flip it, okay? Otherwise you're gonna rip it apart. But other than that, it's quite a simple process, okay? And just make sure you have a nice plate so you can hold them after they've been cooked. So we're gonna take another ball. Okay, roll it up right about the size of our hand there, okay? Put it right on the center of it, okay? And then we're gonna put our next plastic right on top. So if you're using the electrical stove, I kept this at a number 5, okay? So that way it doesn't get too hot, it doesn't get too cold, and iron skillet stays right at that temperature that we need for that tortillas to cook, okay? Now remember, at the masa you can also add like red salsa, Mexican red salsa. Just look at my previous videos where I made some salsas, and you can infuse some flavor into the tortilla itself. So when it cooks a little bit reddish, but it has a little bit of spiciness to it. And there's many variations that you can actually use for this masa. Like there's blue corn, red corn, and you can put your own twist to it. So there's like indefinite creations that you can build out of this masa. We're gonna put our next plastic right on top. Okay, we're gonna press it gently. You don't need to have a lot of force to do this, okay? So, and as long as you start seeing some of the edge come out, like right there, that's perfect. Okay, so we'll take the top plastic off. Okay, we'll turn it into our hand, peel it off. Okay, well, if it wants to come out, right there, as you see, perfect. And then we're gonna take it to the comal. And as you see, it was flipping there, and immediately it started producing some bubbles with the steam. That means it's gonna cook pretty hot. Now while the tortilla is cooking, sometimes you will see the steam building up in the center of the tortilla, so you will get a nice bubble. But don't be afraid, that's common with any tortillas that you cook, whether they're flour or corn. And I'm gonna push on, I see one right there, and I'm gonna push, and maybe you guys can see where the steam is building up inside, okay? So that means it's cooking evenly from the inside. Okay, we'll flip it, and now you have a nice little crust in here. Wow, nice and soft inside. Okay, at this point it's done. I'm gonna put it right here on the end of the comal. It stays warm and it doesn't get overcooked because it's part of the skillet. Well, it is getting pretty hot, so what we'll do, we'll just put it on a plate, and that will be great right there. So we're gonna do more. So we're gonna flip it. It was literally about a minute. Oh, look at that. Very nice. Okay. And that's just basically the corn getting toasted right on that skillet. So here we have another example of the tortilla that was pressed. Okay, and then we have one that is cooked here, and then as we go over here, we already have our nice little plate full of tortillas. Okay, here we go. I mean, see, flexible, very good. And these basically, I mean, you can make quesadillas out of this. You can make enchiladas, chilaquiles. I mean, there's many options that you can use tortillas for. Okay, make soup, tortilla soup as well. See, now we have a nice big stack. Okay. So here we have our tortillas already made. So this recipe literally made 10 tortillas, and it looks about 5 to 6 inches diameter. Okay, and it was basically 2 cups of flour, 2.5 cups of water, and 1 teaspoon of salt. And that was the perfect recipe for 10 tortillas. Okay, so you guys enjoy, and we're gonna eat this with the next meal. Okay, enjoy, take care, bye. So I hope you guys enjoy the tortilla making tutorial today. Make sure you subscribe, and we'll continue giving you guys those great homemade recipes that you could probably not find in the restaurants or even at the store. That unique taste and that the culture that is being engraved into myself, and then I will pass it to my generation. So continue watching my videos for great recipes, and stay tuned. Okay, take care. Bye bye.